Taylor Swift has endorsed Kamala Harris for President of the United States. This is Tyrone Bowman live. According to CNN, Taylor Swift said Tuesday she is supporting Vice President Kamala Harris in the race for president, ending speculation about whether the superstar would share her political views ahead of November's election. Like many of you, I watched the debate tonight. If you haven't already, now is a great time to do your research on the issues at hand and the stances these candidates take on the topics that matter to you the most as a voter. I make sure to watch and read everything I can about the proposed policies and plans for this country, quote, close quote. Swift wrote on Instagram shortly after the conclusion of Harris's debate with former President Donald Trump, her Republican rival, on ABC News. Quote, recently, I was made aware that AI of me falsely endorsing Donald Trump's presidential run was posted to his site. It really conjured up my fears around AI and the dangers of spreading misinformation. It brought me to the conclusion that I need to be very transparent about my actual plans for this election as a voter. The simplest way to combat misinformation is with the truth. I will be casting my vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz in the 2024 presidential election, close quote. Harris became the Democratic Party's nominee in early August following President Joe Biden's exit from the 2024 presidential race. Later that month, Harris announced Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as a running mate. Swift mentioned Harris's choice of Walz in her endorsement. It's been a long day. I'm voting for at Kamala Harris because she fights for the rights and causes I believe need a warrior to champion them. I think she is a steady-handed, gifted leader, and I believe we can accomplish so much more in this country if we are led by calm and not chaos. I was so heartened and impressed by her selection of running mate at Tim Walz, who has been standing up for LGBTQ plus rights, IVF, and a woman's right to share her own body for decades. Quote, close quote, Swift wrote. I've done my research, and I've made my choice. Your research is all yours to do, and the choice is yours to make. I also want to say, especially to first-time voters, remember that in order to vote, you have to be registered. I also find it's much easier to vote early. I'll link where to register and find early voting dates and info in my story, close quote. Swift signed off on the post by calling herself a childless cat lady, quote unquote, alluding to a phrase previously used by Senator J.D. Vance, Trump's running mate, to criticize Democrats. Asked about the endorsement on Fox News Morning, Trump cast Swift as, quote, very liberal person, close quote, and said she will probably pay a price for it in the marketplace. Caroline Leavitt, a spokesperson for the Trump campaign, added in a statement to CNN on Wednesday, more evidence that the Democratic Party has become the party of the wealthy elite. President Trump will fight for the American worker, the struggling family who can't afford groceries and gas, and the angel families who have lost loved ones due to Kamala's open border policy. Taylor Swift may not understand those problems, but President Trump does. In 2020, Swift announced her support for Biden and Harris in their bid for the White House. Swift has spent mostly of her nearly 20-year career decade staying mum on politics until the 2018 midterms, when she endorsed two Democratic candidates out of Tennessee. She has since been vocally supportive of Democratic policies and candidates, often encouraging her supporters to vote and advocating for women's rights, reproductive health, and LGBTQ plus rights. You know what's ironic about the statement from Trump's camp? They had no problem having Hulk Hogan appear at the Republican convention. And they had no problem paying Hulk Hogan a large sum of money to appear. And they had no problem with Hulk Hogan endorsing Donald Trump. Everybody is entitled to his or her endorsements. In her 2020 documentary, Miss America, or Miss Americana, Swift expressed regret for not speaking up about political causes sooner, telling her father Scott Swift in an emotionally charged scene that she felt the need to be on the right side of history. And I'm going to leave it right there for tonight. Taylor Swift has officially endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris for the presidency of the United States of America. So, till next time, everybody, never surrender.